Hello, 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 hello. Boy, it's time to get people convicted and executed. Let's go. So, I accidentally hit the go live button when trying to set up this stream. And I'm like, well, I can't just end it. So I'm like panicking, like I hadn't said, I was gonna go live anyway, so it's fine, but like, I was trying to like change the title of the stream, set up the music. In the beginning of the stream, it's like completely silent, because I'm like panicking, trying to pull up like Twitter. I'm like, I gotta send out the Twitter announcement, I gotta make the music go. I'm like, why did I hit go live? I wasn't ready. And I'm like panicking, trying to fix everything. It's funny. But we got it. We're here. Everything should be working fine. Let's minimize that. But hello, how are we? We're back. With Ace Attorney. The Ace Attorney himself, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, and we're in the middle of a trial with the French. That's gonna be fun. Let's go. I'm going live every single day I can. That's just a guarantee. I'm streaming every single day. The only times I'm not is weekends I'm away. But other than that, until we beat all of the Ace Attorney games, I'm going live every single day. Even if it's only for like an hour stream, I'm gonna go live. Alright, let's go. Let's go, Phoenix. And the phony Glenn Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo, the witness. Such a weird place to leave off, but I just really had to go last time. I was like, I'll go into the next, like, cross-examination, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time. I gotta go. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Objection. Quite a performance, Wright. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glenn Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glenn Elg was already dead. That's... Oh. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Xenia Mod? I don't know if that's saying your name right, but welcome. Xenia? Hello. How are you? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Objection. Thank you, Trey. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. What? No. I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glenn Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Oh dear. Oh jeez. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trait. Let's just hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I don't know where the body was. I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. That's hot. What? Who said that? Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elg concealed? Outside Trabian, inside Trabian. It's probably inside, right? It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside, yeah. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Trabian. Why are my frames rising? What is happening? Hello? Why is it going up so much? Uh-oh. That's not good. Can ignore it for now until it goes red. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Trabian. Why is it? Oh, this makes me so anxious when it does this. Okay, looks like it stopped going up. Nope. Okay, just not. You know what? I'm gonna close it and not look at it because it's just making me anxious. Kitchen probably? I don't know. The body was hidden here. I see. Nice superstition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? One moment. Okay. Where was the body hidden? Kitchen. Oh, because we found the, yeah, then his medicine was in there. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? None. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use la very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Trabian. Quoi? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an... not this word. Otolaryngological clinic was given medication that day. I'm a lawyer. I can pronounce big words. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Glenn Elk's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No. No wonder their food tastes like trash. It was being cooked next to a rotting corpse. Order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elk? Never. I could not do such an horrible thing. No! No, that's Godot. No! Why is Godot screaming? Oh. Mr. Godot? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Yes, he counts them. We know he counts them, Phoenix. Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend? Oh, je vous demande pardon. Oh, please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. Yo hablo español. I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it? No, no, no. Absolutely no. Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. We will beat you. Right here in this courtroom. Oui. It is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I would be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table? There was. There was another man. Yeah, we got him. Maybe they should have just got rid of the body by turning him into food. Go all Sweeney Todd. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. Yeah, obviously. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. I think we know. I think we know who the real killer is. I think we know. Boom. Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Oh, who is that? He looks handsomer than you, Mr. Wright. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I don't know, maybe a month ago in this very courtroom? This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lender. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre, at least not while he had this on you. His loan, right? Yeah. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. Boom, boom. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong, La Tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant, a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just try to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well? No, I know nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable. Mr. Godot? You will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. Oh, he's already got him, doesn't he? 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Trey. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. Interesting. Let's go.
So we're finally gonna see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we didn't know if what he testified is the truth.
You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying?
I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. Get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe!
What are you so jumping about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Topknot.
It's not a top knot.
Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then.
But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet! In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Obviously the medicine bottle, right? Yeah. You're going back to the station anyway. Could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belonged to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Phoenix, your fingerprints are all over it. Everyone's touched it. I'm pretty sure Maya touched it too. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
Let's go. Maya did it. 100% was Maya. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness? Please state your name and occupation. Okay.
Ah!
Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there's room for me down there, too. Would you mind what you say to me? No, nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor. Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it, we're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Grr. Too cool.
Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then? Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a bear with me. Okay, Phoenix.
Get a grip, Nick.
Yeah, I'm the one that needs to get a grip. The tiger's alibi. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. Yous want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Okay. Ah, at last, I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination... Oh. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife, me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you's gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. Gumshoe should have stayed. He's the only one aside from Godot who's willing to tackle this guy. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute, that's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side. He'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. Are you crazy? What? You'd better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. That's crazy. That's crazy. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yes, Your Honor.
You can do it, Nick.
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Oh, Maya. Alright, let's press on things that are relevant, then. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business. What kind of business? Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That sounds like a rather, sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What did the tiger What the tagger did all December isn't the issue. His report is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Let's press harder. Mr. Tigray, what do you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, right? And you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening? Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please. Mr. Tigray, the court asked you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The day you was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before. You're a liar. We know you met with him. It's on his calendar. Where's the calendar? Boom. Mr. Tigray, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glen Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigray, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glen Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad. You's actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with yous to see how good you were. No, that's called perjury. Okay. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. Oh, come on, Yuan. It was just for the giggles. He's calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing? Ruh-roh. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Then I'd say that gives me a time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigray. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness? He never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. Phoenix in court? Come on. The victim, Glen Elg. I ain't no liar. I never met. Okay. Met some. There was some lame guy with that name though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy in my office, tender lender. Waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never been to that Trabian joint. You's here? I see. That all seems perfectly logical. He's a liar. He's a liar. He had these in his office. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, Wright. Ugh. The victim, Glen Elg. Alright, let's see what that first line was, because I accidentally skipped it. I ain't no liar. I never met Glen Elg. Okay, that's just all he said. Never been. I ain't never been. I ain't never been. Liar. Mr. Tigray, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What are you talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. Wha? If you've really never been to Trabian before, what was the book of the matches, the restaurant's matches, doing on your desk? You've been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? I ain't no broad controlling me. Okay. I can't believe the criminals in this game lie. Everyone knows criminals always tell the truth. Every single time. Criminal has never lied ever. Order, order! Well, witness? I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I ain't no pussycat, I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elk that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Très bien. Très bien. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon, but I opened the door to the joint and saw one ugly scene. The kid was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. I want to check something. Something he said it off. Okay. Yeah, there's a, obstruction. He couldn't have seen that from the doorway. I see, you didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna express... I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem. Anytime Tripe presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know since yous paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Trop bien. Trop bien. Moving in with the kid. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. No, you didn't, because there's obstructions. Where are the floor plans? Boom. You're something of a loan-collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one else escapes the Taiga's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie-detecting pro. It's my superpower. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. Oh, that was a good line, Phoenix. That should be your catchphrase. That should be your law firm's slogan. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this trait? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. Oof, yeah, that goes hard. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre? From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's scene. No, are you stupid? Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables, boom, is a tall partition. Oh, why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of Trabian, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glen Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. A charade? A charade! That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? Okay, well, it's obvious. You say the killer murdered Glenn Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. You're looking at him, boss. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts? You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. He's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no.
The servant girl brought him a Javakino. But she put something in it.
There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. It does. It 100% does. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. He could have been lying. Yes, it was the witness who poisoned the coffee. Nobody's ever lied on oath. But very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Found your pen at last, Trite. It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, felt unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? It's Viola, probably, yeah? Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlender. He's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick. You're shaking the table, Nick.
Where was I? Yeah, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following.
Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had kind of a cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? He's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Is this flirting? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about. You've got it all wrapped up nice, huh, Wright? But you've missed out on one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid, too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you was here. What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you'll explain yourself to the court. I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Trabian between yourself and the victim? Yeah, I loaned El cash, about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his paycheck date, you see. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming, "Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. It's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? She hadn't gone the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this. Ask about what Maggie did, ask about how things would have been. Yeah. Sure. How would things have gone? What do you mean things would have been over and done with? I use all there what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than the recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you'll amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tagger's motive, huh? I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy, other than, you know, steal his virus. That's worth a lot of money. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after.
Objection.
What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender is after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? Computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? It is the year 2016. Actually, it's the year 2018. What is a computer? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is an important point. A virus like MC Bomber would have been worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. Still living in the 1930s. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glen Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You're trying to suggest that the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Wright. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. What if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? Because of the, he needed to pay back the mafia group. Yeah. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. How much of this do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum! Someone should sue these HMOs. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Order! 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 You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. Ooh, aside from murder. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. Then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, Wright, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. He was not in the dark, he was obviously involved. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. We got him, boys. Order! Order! Silence or I will clear the You've put on a good show, Spiky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you're very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Oh, he posed as me. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? He posed as me. He pretended to be me. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor! Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. No. Like, that's actually crazy. What? If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. This is ridiculous. You say impersonated Glen Elk. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ugh. Heh. Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled. You's got that? All we managed to do here was chase them around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Cue Gumshoe's entrance. Come on, Gumshoe, we need that medicine bottle. Medicine bottle. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I had just one more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. Surely it's been an hour. The witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre. Where's the hold it? Yeah! Yeah! Where is he? Your Honor, sir? Wait! Yeah! He did it! Oh, it's just like when Francisca came in with the piece of evidence. Yeah! He did it! Yeah! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? January 8th, 2:48 p.m. District Court, Defense Lobby number 1. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from the medicine bottle.
Oh, so do you know who the prints belong to now?
Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So, tell us, they're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. The Ferio Tigre's paw prints, alright.
It's great, we got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. Oh, I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This was our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Aw, Gumshoe. Oh,
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! You've been working on something for me?
aw. Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I knew you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait!
He's gone. Aw.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Alright, let's get him. Let's beat this tagger. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yeah. Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are yous gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before, but yous lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. Well, here. It's here. I don't know what we're proving yet, but here it is. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's? Your Honor, naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this court should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway? Phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Oh, I know where he's going with this. Okay. I think I figured him out. I think we're on the same wavelength, Phoenix. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that'll prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains Mr. Armstrong's oils, the victim's ear medicine. Ooh, wasn't that the murder weapon was potassium cyanide? Yeah, and if we bluff... I got it, we're bluffing. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. You's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. Okay, we got him. We got him, boys. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. We got him, boys. Oh, that's funny. Got him at last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. Still haven't figured it out. He just made a fatal mistake. Like, can't do it. You know, it happens. It happens. Sometimes you just say the wrong thing. Don't you realize what you said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. You really had nothing to do with the murder. You shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yous don't know who yous messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped-up suit get the better of me? Sure. The last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It's all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Yeah! We got him! Oh my god, oh my god. Woo! We got him! Ew. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Ooh. Well done, Troy. Whoa. His mask looks so cool. That was awesome. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. That was awesome. I love that. Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Okay. Okay, Judge. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Godot? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tagger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. That rhyme is fitting. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty. Yay! Yay! Maggie! guilty again. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Yay!
Huzzah! January 8th, 4:10 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. Yay, you did it, Maggie.
I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Aw, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off soon. See you around, pal. Wait! He vanished.
Detective Gumshoe?
Oh yeah? Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, Well, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle.
That wasn't even of any use.
But
It's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this.
I wanted to believe that, sir, but on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have a choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
Aw. Gotta prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Oh, the, lunchbox, right? Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you.
Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know? Oh.
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now?
No. Aww. Aw, that's sweet.
So, how is it, Maggie?
It's really good. Aw, that's adorable. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. Yay. Aw. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. No, that's so lovely. Oh, that's very cute. I love that. That's very lovely. Yay!
We beat episode 3! Yay!
Whoa, new episode unlocked. Who's that I see? Ooh. A brand new episode has been added. Turnabout Beginnings. Ooh. Who's that guy? Oh, I'm so hyped. Let's go. It's the girl. Let her go. Ooh. Shut up! Come closer and I kill her! Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Ooh. Oh, snap. There she goes. Oh. Whoa! I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Fugitive data. Ooh, this is so cool! Name, Terry Falls. Charge, kidnapping, murder. Sentence, death penalty. Ooh. Fugitive movements. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Hawthorne. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. Ooh. This is so cool. I love the visuals. That was so pretty. 6 years earlier, Mia Fey, first trial. Let's go! Mia's back! February 16th, 9:24 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. Oh, Mia! Ugh, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Oh.
Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia.
I didn't do nothing. I swear I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere.
But, Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago.
Sorry, I told a little lie. You boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody.
Sorry for asking, but you're on death row now, right?
I'm really sorry. Mia. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's where I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. Ooh. 2 days ago, he escaped when the police wagon... 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true.
I can trust him, right? I mean, I should.
Ha. I don't know who's high. Ooh! Hello! Hi! Hello! Hi! 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 Hey, come here often. You're not gonna figure out the truth by just staring at the guy.
Why are you here?
I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? That old man is probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. Ooh, Diego Armando.
I didn't say. So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me?
No. You got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. Oh. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first-time client.
Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though.
Relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. He's a literal baby.
Really?
However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Yes, what's your theory? We got Terry Falls, age 25. My client sentenced to death 5 years ago. Escaped from custody 2 days ago. Valerie Hawthorne, age 23. Police officer and the victim, the key witness in this case against Falls 5 years ago. Diego Armando, age 27. A hotshot lawyer. My senior and rival at the office. A bit smug. Genius. Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time.
Anything you say.
A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him. But not me. Is it possible he was Mia's boyfriend and that's who Phoenix's ex poisoned? They didn't say much about this person, what they looked like or anything, but he hinted he was dead. But even then, possibly. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Oh, look at it! Oh, it's been so long. Oh no, not this guy. Who is the... Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh, look at little baby Miles. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers. Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So, you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age? At 20, Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh?
Come on, Mia, you can't lose. Not to someone younger than you.
Young people running a trial. Not too sure how I feel about that. It's... Miles Edgeworth, age 20, dubbed a genius as soon as he started as a prosecutor. Today is his court debut. Oh, that's adorable that Edgeworth and Mia both had the same debut trial. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct? Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered.
So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death?
You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very courtroom. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. Aww. Aww. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony.
A witness's testimony?
The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throwing his young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
So Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away.
That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be... Exactly. The victim. The same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha! I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind. To take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now.
Huh?
Yes, yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty.
Wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor.
Ugh. Watch yourself, Miss Faye. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice, but he has a right to a trial. What do you mean? Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. Like, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I called the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case.
Oh, look at him! His little baby gumshoe.
Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe. Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of this case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago.
I don't believe anyone asked you about that.
Dick Gumshoe, age 26. Oh, he's so little. Homicide detective in charge of the initial investigation, still new to his position. Aw. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes?
What is it?
You're really gorgeous. Excuse me. No, seriously. My heart, it's aching for you. Okay, Gumshoe. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it. Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir, I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at the aerial map of the area here. Oh, look at that, a colored map. Crazy. How come the case from 6 years ago is the one that gets a colored map? This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge, and the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met here, on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Okay, bridge located 40 feet above Eagle River. Dusky Bridge map added to the court record. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor. If you listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Oh, why, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me as though I were some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir.
Here we go, Mia. Hang on.
Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Alright. Let's do this. Summary of the incident. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Okay. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Valerie's autopsy report. Stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Proof of my profession. It's brand new and sparkles in the light. That's adorable. Mia, you're the best. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up. And then Diego just goes and goes, okay, Mia, you're gonna want to press tab. Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee.
I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here.
The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright. Especially for a beginner.
I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here.
You got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you got, kitten. Let's do this.
It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all night watching last night.
Summary of the incident. An unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet.
This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What?
The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. What? The defendant? The defendant called her? If he did, then why didn't you say that? Why'd you say unknown person? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls.
A note?
Yeah, a top secret memo that she left in her desk. Confidential police materials written by the victim. According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed... Let's read it. February 14th.
Oh, Valentine's Day.
1:21 p.m. Falls, 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Dahlia! Ooh, interesting. The defendant, Terry Falls.
Whose great idea was it to keep that note from me?
Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer.
It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person.
Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to.
Is that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky.
So true. He's got a cute little face. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway.
Mr. Falls had a car then?
Well, the bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves.
Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything?
This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. There she is. Naturally, that's the body of Mallory Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. Judge, she is dead.
The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct?
Yeah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back.
We're talking about a woman here.
You can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back, nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange, do you? Anyway, isn't she supposed to be wearing a white scarf? Isn't that what it said?
Witness?
Where is her scarf, witness?
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye?
I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever actually had to address someone like that.
You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. A piece of my coffee candy?
Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer.
Detective? Yes, ma'am? This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it, is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It is very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, this special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. And you stopped there? You should have looked for it. Ah! The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for. Is it this one, perchance? Ah! Where did you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. That's okay. Well, why? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. Looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising. It was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth? He was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time? The court will accept the scarf into evidence. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident found on Dusky Bridge. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with this testimony. That is alright with you, isn't it, Miss Faye? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Murder him, Miss Faye, murder him. Very good. Now if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively, and with hard evidence, that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about that. Ugh, everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten. There's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh? Events on Dusky Bridge. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Interesting. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. Yeah. It is about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say it was a well-intentioned third party. Aha, a potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. You got an eyewitness. So, as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at that point what happened on that bridge. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty.
Not again. That's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet.
Hmm.
What do you mean,
Anyway, I have some issues with some things you said. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog too. That's a generally soggy atmosphere. I love that. I love that animation so much. This judge is so impatient. I hate him. I hope he dies.
Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere.
But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk.
Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right.
Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. Her coat. Look at it. It's beautiful. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions that day? Her everything? What?
Naturally, the answer is right here.
The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there is nothing strange about it.
That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day?
It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet.
If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge,
then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. Okay. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. Her scarf was gross. If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, but not muddy. Fortunately, I've yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge, huh? A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this. Neither would a real woman. You tell him, Mia.
of course I can.
Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. Just look at her scarf. The evidence is this scarf. Oh,
It should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy,
it means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud. Ugh. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Oh my god! Miles! No, he didn't say it. He didn't say that. He didn't call her that. Hey, same to you, buddy. Mia, call him a bimbo out loud. It's okay. You have every right to. It wasn't canon. He didn't say it. He didn't say it. He didn't say it. He didn't mean it. Not my Edgeworth. He would never say that. Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Mr. Armando, not in the courtroom. No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. Don't worry, Phoenix can fix him. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence. It's one of those three. What if it's all of the above? What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over there that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. Thank you for the hydrate. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go step out and do something, but we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scan it really is.
Yes! The false evidence in this case is the
body. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's obviously the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. I love the hair flip animation, it's so good. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. It's not just the truth. It's not just true, it's the truth. If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests the cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? Oh, who knew? Who knew? Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. Oh? When I look at you, how can I put it? You look okay, Judge. As scrumptious as a double-double in a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Judge, what? You're such a freak. Hey, not so fast. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. This guy's a freak. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Faye, you can learn a lot from this man. He's such a gentleman. He sure doesn't act like one to me.
Sir?
Yes, my dear?
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
No, not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation?
My name is, Melissa Foster.
Sure.
I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? Lies. Don't think so. Melissa Foster, age 19, a college student, witnessed and photographed the incident on Dusky Bridge. Dirty liar. And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate? How can you be so mean? What? She just asked the question. Now see her. What are you doing shoving that in her face like that? She took it. But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. What? Uh-oh. I don't like the turn this has taken. Is she staring at me?
And you would be...
I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fey.
I see. So you are...
Ooh! Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. Look at the butterflies.
Okay, listen, I know she's like a psychopathic murderer and stuff, but like, she's so cute. She's very pretty. I can fix her. Yeah, this judge is awful.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows that crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police.
By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here.
I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs.
So you took the photo from that location, eh?
I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Adworth asked me to.
Ho ho ho, what a cute camera. Just like its owner. Judge, back off, you freak. Melissa Foster took the witness's photo with a small but powerful model. Camera added to the court record. Alright then, Miss Faye. Time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel.
I was using my camera to take pictures of flowers. That's when suddenly they started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment.
No, not this one. No, not that one, not that one. This one? It didn't look like the crucial moment. It looks like they're just standing there. Witness? When you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting the fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that?
Well, you see...
The photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. Dope. My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he?
I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. Film, I mean.
You ran out of film?
This photo was the last one.
What? Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself, playing among the wildflowers. The witness herself? Then who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer field feature built into it.
So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once too. Okay, Judge. Please, no details. It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo? Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk. Looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but...
Run away. But she couldn't have run that way. Witness, your testimony is a joke.
Huh? What? But I just...
Miss Faye, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. She's faking, Your Honor. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You say there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then, she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't even have ran 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side. Woo! What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Crazy. People don't lie. Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. I have a really cool idea what they could have done with this game. Do tell. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What did you just say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying... I'm saying that even though the bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense. You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. That guy's good. What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. Because we know the outcome of this trial more or less, so imagine if the game continues like normal if you lose, but it takes you to an alternative timeline episode before taking you back if Mia won. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting thoughts you have. He's a genius. Yeah. What? That coward. Well, Miss Faye, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No, it wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. Alright, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But it's so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir.
Running from the crime.
After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
Witnessing such violence must have been difficult.
Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up.
If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Oh well. Maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a really great mocha latte.
This trial isn't over yet.
That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Faye. Your cross-examination if you please. The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. Running from the crime.
After he stabbed it in the back, then he carried it over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. Yeah? The only way, huh? The only way? Mm-hmm. A killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Yeah, didn't he literally get accused of throwing a girl into the river before? Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. Ah! In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. Ooh. If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above the Eagle River, you could bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Because he did that too. Order, 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 allegedly. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Faye, but I must admit it does seem odd to not have thrown the body into the river. Oh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, would you have thrown the body into the river? How sad. Perhaps Miss Faye would do well to taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Faye, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. But what about the witness's claims to have seen? But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Mia, prosecutors bring weapons in court all the time. You're allowed to slap him. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. Mia just needs to smack Edgeworth. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is only tell what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about? I don't know, Mia. What other ladies are in the room? Alright, I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. That's a lot of information that you shouldn't know. And also, how did you see that? Well, Miss Foster, looks like you've done it this time. Then what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Faye? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see that car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Oh! That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court. Yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Oh! Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff.
but you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car.
No!
Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh.
Mr. Judge?
What is it?
I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Hey, wait a minute, you can't just say that. Miss Faye, no one on the face of this planet is perfect. Yes indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. Oh no, I didn't see what Mia said. Oh. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando, don't look back until the trial is over. Now's the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair. Okay, kitten. You need to relax. Then you need to remember. The other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there.
So tell me, how'd she know that? How'd she know that he broke into the trunk? Aha! Well, Miss Foster, till you can explain how you knew that, you're gonna have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness?
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid.
How do you know that?
I'm certain there were scratch marks from when he broke into it.
No one's talked about this. No one has talked about this, ma'am. So how would you know that? What? Let me see that photo. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied?
Judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere?
Yeah. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself.
What?
You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally. I finally got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness has seen the scratches was she happened to be passing by, she put the corpse in herself, she's the owner of the car. She put the corpse in, yeah. I got you, Miss Foster, if that's even your real name. There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes? What is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who, really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that...
I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There's no need to break it open.
But he stole the car.
He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means the key would have still been in the ignition.
Oh, I see.
Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk.
No!
Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? It was on a timer? One sec. The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time, she was taking photographs. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Well, let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly. She was not in the field. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? And answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident occurred on the bridge? Oh, she was posing as the victim. It's a phony case, like the one we just did. A phony victim. Naturally, the witness was right here. It's all tied together. Everything's connected. But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Order! Order! Miss Faye, what on earth?
Your Honor, if I may.
After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls.
You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth?
By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? The only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster.
Me?
Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? Got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. That's why he had her wear the scarf. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needs some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Even I could have been Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? No! She died! Where's Miss Foster? This case makes me wonder just how many people Dahlia has killed. Probably, looks like at least 3. She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why'd she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well, this court is in recess. February 16th, 1:14 p.m., District Court Defendant Lobby Number 4. Mr. Fallside. Eek! I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're really good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Oh, sorry. He's so pretty. Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we gotta get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture, it reminds me everything. Okay. Bridge looks same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart. Fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Sorry, buddy. You sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Let me do some math real quick. Okay, 5 years ago, you were 20. And just the hunch that this is Dahlia Hawthorne, that would have made her 14? Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright. Yep. No. Listen, I don't like
don't know if I can defend you anymore, Mr. Falls. Oh. Your girlfriend, huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne?
The victim's last name.
Talia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister.
What? Are you serious?
The girl.
Let her go.
Shut up! Come closer, and I kill her.
Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. Like, look how little she is. It's freaking creep.
At first I thought shooting someone for kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong! No protect sister! Valerie betrayed me, betray us.
What do you mean she betrayed you?
Everything. All lies, all make-believe, kidnapping too.
A make-believe kidnapping?
Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love. My teen angel. Ugh, did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. Ugh, it's so gross. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says.
Anything Dahlia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by...
Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too.
Valerie was in on it?
Dahlia's family rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel, that's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note and sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer cause she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright? In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman! That woman, Valerie, she do it for real. She shoot at me for real. Me and Dahlia. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jump in river.
Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you?
I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. You know, to be honest, out of all these people involved, that man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. I'm on Valerie's side the most. Without knowing the full story here or anything, just like from what I've gathered, I am on Valerie's side the most. May she rest in peace. She's the one that didn't deserve to die. He threw my beloved sister in the roaring river 40 feet below. These 5 years, all I wonder is why. Why? Why did she lie? It's all I want to know. So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looks like, so I tell her to wear scarf. I don't want to hurt her, just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? I find it odd why Dahlia would kill her own sister after all this. I'm sure it will be revealed. Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear answer come from her mouth, that's all. So that's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls. Where is it?
Huh? Where's what?
Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know.
Huh? You don't know?
No, really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia. With Dahlia? That day on the bridge, Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Still think Dahlia's the victim. Into Eagle River. He disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back in now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. They never found her. Boo! Back. Your teen angel. How old was she anyway? Please, thank you, Diego. Oh my god. Just 14. Yeah, creep. 14! Guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds. Mia, he should be locked up. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man, oh man. Angels these days. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a... Go ahead, Mia. Call her it. It's time, kitten. Looks like we got a few more aces up our sleeves now. You bet. Diamond, that is a court record. A $2 million gem used as ransom for Dahlia lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. The training wheels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. That's one of my rules. Remember it. Anything you say, Diego. Anything you say. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best.
You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student like this. What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? Certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Crazy, right, Judge? Her motive, huh? Figured that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think. You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Mr. Armando, listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Oh, that's where she learned it from! She learned it from this guy! Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so. But I wish you would quit grinning at me like that.
Excuse me. Why is the defense and her counsel flirting? May I speak, Mr. Judge?
Of course! Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. Jesus, stop. Wonder who Armando is. It's a shame we'll never see him again.
I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true.
I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady. She never lies, never. Looks like this witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her. Click, she lights right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. And we'll do that. Melissa Foster's history. Tomorrow! We'll read this tomorrow. Thank you guys for showing up. I wanted to keep going, but things are a bit hectic for me right now. I gotta go do stuff. But tomorrow, mega long stream day. I'm gonna start early and go like all day long. Mega long stream day. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you guys for showing up. It's been fun. It's been fun. Let me save again, just to make sure. We're gonna send a raid over to Corey. Go show them some love. They're very cool.
And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.